Good evening, everybody. I want to thank you all for joining us on Taylor Tuesday. Today is January 18th. Little hectic over here for me in Montana. I just got a new puppy. She just came in from Minnesota a day ago, and she's wreaking havoc all over my house. So if I keep turning around, it's because I'm looking to see what she's destroying. And really excited tonight to have David Zuckerman on. He has been really involved in helping come up with advanced modalities for our members. We'll talk a little bit more about that later. And Sarah from 10 Toes, who does some of his marketing. So, and as usual, I'm here with my alter ego, Dr. Mike King. We have been doing this now for a little over 2 years. We've each missed a couple due to certain things going on, but we've been pretty steadfast in what we're doing. So I'm going to turn it over to my compadre, and we'll rock and roll.
Super. So welcome, everybody. Special shout out to Gordy Remy and my classmate Don Tupper. So just a couple special shout outs tonight. But anyway, just remember, you can go back and watch any of the webinars, especially this one, which I know you're going to love, on taylormedical.com. Anytime you visit the website, it's helpful for all of us. But take a look back. You're going to want to gather all the information because David's going to overwhelm you with information tonight. And you can go back and you can pull that up. And I'm sure that Dr. Zuckerman and Sarah will make sure that this information is shared and seen on social platforms, etc. So make sure you go back to Taylor Medical, take a look, pull up any of the webinars. As you know, last time we had a great one on EPAT and ESWT, and tonight's going to be even just as exciting about Remy. And so we're excited about that. So just the typical sales pitch for those of you who are not that involved and haven't gotten involved in Taylor yet. This is the platform. We're changing the paradigm of healthcare. This is the largest podiatric specialized GPO in the country. And, kudos to Ira and Dr. DeSantis for putting this together and for all the members here, but especially to all of you. So if you haven't taken advantage of this, take advantage of the sales and the savings that you can get. I know that Dr. Zuckerman is going to talk to you about some of the savings that he has available later on tonight. But get to list of your products in your office. If you haven't done this yet, take the time. It's not that labor intensive. Whatever pieces you can, send us the information of the vendors you use, the SKUs if you have them, the quantities of things that you buy, the units of measure, the pricing that you're paying. And I will bet you Ira's Ranch that you can get a better pricing in that because everybody's coming back and getting pricing. And there's rebates at the end of the year. And who can't love that Ira's got Giardelli, his cute little lab on his lap there right now too. But, take a look, go to the Taylor website, send Siobhan, Ashley, and Carla your information, and you're going to get this incredible deal. And again, we are changing the paradigm of podiatric medicine today, and that's what this is all about. And I can tell you that my company, Upperline Healthcare, that has 170 podiatrists within, uses Taylor on a regular basis, and it's made a huge difference for how we get our medical supply. So we're going to ask you to do the same thing. So Iggy, I'm going to pass it back over to you and let you introduce our wonderful guests.
Thanks, Mike. Mike hit the nail on the head. As far as Taylor Medical goes, it's not just about getting the best price on a widget. It's introducing new products to your practice to get best patient outcomes. That's our goal here. So all I ask is that anytime you're thinking about getting anything in your office, reach out to Taylor and see if we can't help you get anything that you need for your office. We're really honored to have Dr. David Zuckerman. I feel like David because I've been watching David carry around a dog for years and years and years. And
I'm enjoying it.
I know that I won't be able to carry mine around because she's going to get a lot bigger. But David's was in practice for 34 years and really got involved in emerging technologies for the podiatric profession. He earned his degree at the Ohio College of Podiatric Medicine and completed his training at the John F. Kennedy University Medical Podiatric Surgical Residency Program. In 2007, David became involved in the Class 4 laser therapy high energy systems and became a key opinion leader in developing and training advanced new treatment techniques and protocols for many applications, from toenail fungus surgery and therapy. In 2018, Dr. Zuckerman bought the Remy Class 4 lasers to the podiatric market to provide the industry with efficient and affordable technology to get better patient outcomes. We're also joined by, I hope I say this right, I'm usually pretty good, Sarah Breymeier.
You did it.
Did I get it? Sarah got her master's degree in communication studies from Eastern Illinois University in 2007. She has been planning, implementing, and managing integrated marketing campaigns for the healthcare industry and is specifically focused in the podiatric marketing for the last 10 years. In September 2016, she founded 10 Toes Marketing, communications, planning, and implementing sales and marketing. I can read on, but I got to tell you, she's done it all. She knows what she's doing. She makes David look a lot better. And I'm going to turn over the program to both David and Sarah, and then Mike and I will come back at the end and help facilitate some questions.
Sounds good. I just wanted, this is Remy, very, very quickly, since Ira has his dog out. I can put Remy down. In fact, I can lift Remy up and down. I appreciate Taylor bringing us on tonight, Sarah and myself. I do want to mention very, very quick with Sarah. Sarah is really the mother of the Remy laser. I mean, without her, I mean, the whole, I'm looking here watching this, where she has Remy provided by ZFT, all the graphics. So her marketing is just amazing. And we're going to talk about the importance of marketing. It's one aspect, but it's a very important aspect. So we're very fortunate to have Sarah, who is literally an expert in podiatric marketing. So I'll press this. So why would you want to invest in a laser? What are you looking for? Everybody says, well, does it do this? Does it do that? That's important, but a laser has to be effective. The Remy laser is not only effective, but it's a multifunctional laser. It's all FDA 510 cleared for pain, which is plantar fasciitis, Achilles tendonitis. I call it pain in the ass. Anything that has pain, inflammation, arthritis, or lack of mobility, the Remy pain aspect is going to, or therapy aspect is going to work well. But, you know, there's more than just effectiveness. You have to have an effective product, which the Remy is very effective. There's only 400 Remys out in just in podiatry alone in the last 3 years, and I feel very grateful for that. The feedback has been tremendous. And I feel it's been tremendous because it's met all this criteria. So it's got to be affordable to your patient. That's important. But how do you make something affordable? You have to have a laser that is affordable, because this is a business. As one podiatrist to another, I know what it's like with overheads, expenses. My overhead used to be close to 70% when I was a podiatrist. I never could beat that. But that's a whole nother subject. But you can't spend $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 on a laser and make a profit. You're entitled as a doctor to make a profit. And we did a short little survey during 2019 and 2020 where the COVID was, we had lockdowns. And the Remy, the average practice, this was I just picked people out off my phone, asked them questions, first 20, 30 people randomly. And the average person, after paying off the Remy, which is under $16,000, was between $20,000 and $30,000. I have people making an average of $40,000 and $50,000, and that is after they own it. But more important is you have to have a niche in your practice. I'm going to teach you. Of course, I would never go out of the goal of what you want in your practice, but it should be where you're doing something else and you have a laser therapy or laser fungus, some type of center. Because all certification, one thing about the Remy is I consult with you and I train everybody in your staff one-on-one. That's so important. And what's next important, which has been really, really helped, is Sarah's 10 Toes marketing, which we're going to go into detail. That you have to have great marketing, but to have great marketing, you have to understand patients in podiatry. You don't hire somebody who does, markets candy or markets even dentistry. You need a podiatric marketer. And I've been fortunate enough to have Sarah do that. Another thing is practice management. If you've ever seen my webinars, I don't know who's on tonight. If you ever see my webinars, I bring in good practice management people that actually practice and work with practices so that you can get live information. I mean, I think I'm a pretty good practice management person. I did, just from experience, but you can always learn something more. So you need this whole package. It's the laser plus a group of people to support your office. So here's the Remy. It's 4 pounds. It's a 30-watt laser. Within 5 years, I've worked for almost every company out there. I started with Light Cure. I worked with, which is now Sumis. I worked for K-Laser. I worked for Diomed. I've worked with them. Aspen was a company that I actually, and the idea of how well the 30-watt works came from the Aspen laser. In fact, my engineers are the ones that designed the Aspen old 30-watt. But it was 25, 30 pounds. Now it's 4 pounds. Things change. And it has to be multifunction. My first laser was a $36,000 CO2 laser in 1984, and it only did warts. That's all it did. Just warts. You can't have that. You can't just have one pain laser, one fungus laser, one wart. You need it all together so it has multiple streams. And I did this intentionally from experience over all my years working in the industry and seeing. Believe me, I've bought every laser you can imagine in my practice. I've tried it all. I'm a tech junkie, and I realized you got to calm down and you got to run this like a business, and that's what the Remy was developed for your business and most important for your patients' outcomes. This was pretty successful. They didn't win. They didn't beat the Milwaukee Bucks, but the Remy was on the bench with the Brooklyn Nets last year. If you're a Brooklyn fan, it was a sad loss where Kevin Durant lost by a half a toenail. So you need to have a great laser and great training. I think I'm a pretty good trainer. I get some good feedback because just like I'm talking, it's always one-on-one. It's not one training and you're done. I always say I'm your sixth man on the bench. I'm there for you all the time. More power. The Remy is a very powerful laser. However, and I mentioned this in podiatry. Pardon me? I heard somebody. If your budget affords it, there's still, all my lasers are at least 40, 50% less than any laser out there because I'm the direct manufacturer and designer. But the Remy 45 is my latest. It's portable, powerful. It's got multiple wavelengths, but you can go up in power. And that may make if you have a really busy clinic and you want to do a shoulder, a foot, a knee, that could take 20, 30 minutes. The Remy, it's less than 4 minutes per site. Great little laser. Still portable, though. It's important. I don't know if you know Brad. I never got to see the show, but it was on My Feet Are Killing Me this month. I didn't get to see the show. I missed it. There's the Remy. It travels everywhere. I can't believe it's been on the NBA courts and it's been on TV. Multifunction. We're always trying to improve. I don't know if you can see my arrow. The left black attachment. And one thing with the Remy is you can go from fungus to pain to warts with in less than 10 seconds. So we now have and this is all included with the Remy. You have a fungus toenail attachment, and which
these are supposed to be embedded videos, David. I hope that they play. If you
can try them, if they don't, they don't. I can describe. I happen to know what they are.
Yeah, it doesn't look like clicking them's gonna
not working.
No, but
it's okay.
Yeah, that's a bummer. That's okay.
Okay, now here we have what's called a roll. It's a roller ball. It attaches on there and it rolls on. It's a nice little device, and it's something new. And if you're a Taylor Medical member, this attachment all you have to do is mention to me you're a Taylor Medical and you want it. A Taylor Medical member, this is free to you with the purchase of the Remy. Great little attachment. So we'll go next. And what these are showing is on the left is Dr. Barkoff, who has multiple Remy. He's in Manhattan. Again, there's over 400 of these. I wish we could have showed the wart treatment without anesthetic, but but you get an idea. We picked this off of TikTok. It's funny when I turn on TikTok and I see my laser, and I'm pointing out that's not the way I taught you how to do it. No, I'm just joking. But the Remy can with warts. This is a self-pay. The fungus is self-pay. The pain is self-pay. Of course, you can do evaluation and management codes when they're appropriate. I think initially you could do that. But the insurance aspect of the Remy for warts is insurance covered. You can use it without anesthetic, where there's no cutting, or there's another protocol where you can use it with anesthetic. So it's an ablative procedure, and you also can do a setting where it stimulates the immune system and kills the viruses. All lasers stimulate the immune system, stem cell, and they're all reparative. They're all based on therapy as well.
Would you want me to? I can turn my screen share on and see if we can share it off of my screen.
That would be great. Whatever you want to do.
Just a second. I think.
But that's a very unique thing is the fact that, and there's no major consumables with the Remy.
Can you see?
None at all.
Slides?
Can we do that?
Are you able to see?
We got you there, Sarah. Or we got you there, Sarah. Give it a
try.
try.
Okay, good. I'm gonna play these. Hopefully, you can hear them as well. So
I can moderate them if we can, because I just watched them.
Okay.
About 3 to 4 years ago, we have the Remy Class 4 laser, and the ease of use of this laser and the amount of problems we can treat with it is wonderful. And we just did a laser fungal toenail. The patient also is having some heel pain. So we just are able to change the handpiece to the therapeutic piece, and we have some presets, and we go right to the heel pain. And now it goes from being a laser for toenail fungus to a therapeutic laser for heel pain.
So yeah, so that was the fungus to heel pain, and then this is Dr. Lupshin with the wart.
It's been a lonely
Today
and
I'm working
devastating
on a
2
wart.
years
I have
for
a
people
wart.
in aged care and their loved ones.
Just a sec. I don't know why it's playing that weird video.
It's funny. It's funny on this one. I was in the background. That was the first time she ever used the one for the wart feature. And the woman did amazing. She had warts all over her feet, diabetic, for over 6 years. And in less than 5 treatments, they were gone.
Here we go.
Today I'm working on a wart. I have a wart on the side of the foot. It's been a difficult wart. It's been present for years. The really neat thing is we have really shrunk this up with the Remy Class 4 laser. Class 4 lasers are the highest in the technology and innovation. We could use them for fungal nails, we could use them for warts, and we could use them for foot pain. So here's an example of modern technology right here in Highlands County.
All right. Okay, I'll go back to you guys, and I'll stop sharing my screen. Just a second. Okay, are we good? Back to normal slides?
No, I just see everybody's camera.
All right.
There we go.
There we go. Thank you.
Thank you. So that was a procedure. Again, it was chronic. You want to go? Another thing that's interesting that we have a whole catalog. My most popular and is the 30-watt dual wave, but we do have lasers. We have other lasers too, but they're so affordable, the Remy, that you can get a quality. I might tell you about the quality of the Remy. The Remy is not a cheap laser. Okay. It's just that I'm the direct importer and manufacturer and designer. I have my own engineers to put this together. So you've reduced the cost. And again, you have to reduce the cost, or the physician, the podiatric physician, he's never going to make a return on investment. And that's important. Are you going to make $1 million with this? Well, no. My prediction was that the average practice, and I have one practice reported back to me this year. They made 40. Last year, they made over $40,000, and because lasers bring in patients. I'll never forget. I had a teacher of mine when I went to OCPM, and we were talking about lasers, and he said to me, "You don't even have to turn the laser on, and patients will come to you." I had a sign, Laser Center. It brings patients into you, and it elevates the appearance of your practice, but it has to be effective, and the Remy is very effective, and that's what's important. The Remy had to produce outcome and tests. It's just not registered with the FDA. It was 510K approved, which means you had to prove that it worked with testing. Now this is we're always improving. This is a mock-up, but this particular cart was specifically made. It was specifically made for the Remy. You can see the logo. Sarah put the logo on, but it's fully. It's lightweight. It's very easy to movable. Anyone that purchases as a laser through Taylor will automatically get this cart. And this cart was not cheap. It cost me $1,000. And if you want to see the invoice, I'll show it to you. But this is how much I feel about Taylor Medical. I have watched Taylor. I'll never forget the first time I met Ira many years ago when this was when the concept of this. But I am just very impressed with this company, how they've grown, and everything they said has come where it's quality products at a fair price, so you, the doctor, can do well. And this is not an advertisement. This was my observation. So this cart, please, when you reach out to me, if you're a Taylor medical member, tell me. I'll repeat, tell me you are. You'll be treated even better. And this cart, again, if you purchase the Remy, it's included. Also, I'm going to put out two other things. Is we now have Android. If you look at this laser up there, Android means that you can play movies. You can play. We have Sarah designed the movies. You can watch promotional movies on there. We can make a video of you talking about it. I always say, and no one's ever taken me up on this, Sarah, but I've always wanted to do this. Is that I want a video movie to show on whether it's the internet, on the laser, in their offices, of the doctor talking about it. That's the brand. It's the doctor. It's not the equipment. It's you, the doctor, talking about it and having your patients talked about it. We have so many patients testimonials from other doctors. So it really makes me happy to see that. Now we also have another feature that's included. I'm not a big fan of this, and I think it has a limit. It has an indication, limited, and that is where it's unattended. You can put it on there and you can let the laser do the work. And it comes with this cart. The arm's not on there, but it hooks up there, and you're able to do it unattended. But I'm a firm believer, and the literature, my experience support this, is you need hands-on with this. You gotta, when you're treating for example, the plantar fascia, you gotta treat the origin, you gotta treat the insertion, you gotta follow nerve roots. A better analogy would be if you're treating a shoulder, and the Remy is full body. You got to treat the cervical nerve roots because they have stenosis. Lasers are very sensitive and healing when they get into the nerves. So, but there are indications which when I train you, I'll go into. But I don't think it's something you need to go hands-on. And that's the beauty of high power, is they're fast and quick. We can have we can set up the Remy and you can have a treatment done in 5 minutes when you're using it as well. So I hope that benefit. Just mention you're a Taylor member. Marketing. What can I say about marketing? Well, we're going to have Sarah talk about marketing. She's designed all this marketing. It's customized, and it's important. To me, the epitome of marketing is that when the patient says to you, "Doc, will this help me?" Or, "Doc, tell me about this. Is it something that I need?" That to me is beautiful marketing. And I get so many doctors saying to me with this marketing program that patients ask me for it. That's marketing to me. Do I have it right, Sarah?
You do. And before I get into this, I want to circle back a little bit to, you were talking about the videos and how it would be fantastic if more of the physicians who have the laser would do videos. Obviously, you saw the one that with Dr. Barkoff in Manhattan. He does a great job at marketing his laser because he asks his patients if he can do a couple quick testimonials or if he can do a demonstration and get on camera. And he uses that on his Facebook, his Instagram. Obviously, we saw Dr. Lupshin on TikTok. Those are really, really great ways to get your message out. It's kind of like the field of dreams. Like if you build it, they will come. And if you have the laser, they will come. That's not necessary. That's not absolutely true. You have to let them know you have it. And one last thing, those videos specifically, I would highly recommend going to remylaser.com and clicking on the testimonials page on David's website, because even today, as I was going through, I was kind of trying to find some quick little, I guess, not, just voiceovers or just quick phrases and excerpts of some of these testimonials. And I forgot how good they are in terms of we're talking about that the laser is portable. Dr. Zuckerman specifically mentions how the laser is so small and it's easy for her to take it from location to location, but she still ended up buying another one because it's priced so well that she could do that. So she can take it from office to office, but when David's got it priced so well, why not just buy another one if you've got multiple locations? But just talking about the portability of it, that's fantastic. Obviously, you saw the picture with Dr. Schaefer. I mean, the laser looks like his hand's like bigger than the machine. So I think it's just a really good, these are just really good testimonials to go through all of the features that we're talking about, the multifunction. You've got, there's a physician on there, and the name is Dr. Oliverio. I think it's Dr. Oliverio talking about the warts and how fantastic the warts treatment has been in his office since he's purchased the laser. And there's a ton of testimonials on there, and I would say 20% of them have said it has been the single best purchase that they've made in their practice in the last 10 years. So. And David, you're not paying any of these people to say those things, not that I'm aware of. So
I pay them in crypto.
Yeah, there you go. So if you really want to know how this laser is affecting practices, go to remylaser.com, go to the testimonials page and watch those. Each one is about 2 minutes long. They're fantastic. So anyway, marketing toolkit. This is where I come in. We've put together a complete toolkit for in-office marketing. So this includes practice posters. We have 6 different designs. And I customize all 6 designs for you. We put your logo on them. We brand them to your practice colors. So, obviously you see these examples here. It just has the Remy logo and the Remy branded colors. But if your practice colors are blue and silver, we will customize it so that everything matches the look and feel and the aesthetic of your practice. And then obviously you would put your logo, your contact information on there. Trifold brochures. We have advertisement templates. We started when we first made the toolkit. We did newspaper templates. That's fine. They're still available. I highly recommend using the social media templates that we've created. So we have ads for fungus and pain, and we're bringing out the warts marketing toolkit as well now. And postcard templates, and they're postcards, but I often just recommend, because mailing can get expensive, just use the postcards as handouts in your office, especially because they're really focused and the imagery is really nice. The trifold brochure is fantastic, but the postcards there are 4 about pain. There's 4 about the fungus. And it's just a really nice, fresh way to keep reminding your patients get them all printed, because then you have a new, fresh material to hand to your patients every time they come in. The educational videos are key. Just another quick side note, if you go to remylaser.com, go to marketing tools, you'll see all of these. So you'll see all the templates right there. You can watch the educational videos on your own, and we'll give you those in files to put into your waiting room. I give you embed codes to put them on your website. You don't have to worry about an embed code. What is your webmaster knows what an embed code is. They can do that for you. And then also website verbiage. I've created templated landing pages so that you don't have to think too hard about what verbiage to use, what images to use. Just take the verbiage that we give you on with the templates that we've created. And obviously you can customize a lot of that verbiage on your own. You don't have to use exactly what I've created, but it's a really good benchmark and it's a really good spot to start, because as soon as you invest in this laser, you don't want to waste any time getting your return on investment. And the best way to do that is with marketing and getting appointments scheduled. And in-office marketing is the most, it's the easy, it's low-hanging fruit, right? I mean, you've already got your patients in there. You don't have to worry about bringing in new customers, I say customers, but patients all of the time. Use the patients that know, trust you. They might be there for heel pain, but what do you know? They've got toenail fungus as well. Let's give them the brochure about laser for toenail fungus. So use these in-office tools to maximize the relationship that you already have with your patients. And ultimately, marketing in the medical space is education, because you're not just selling them something they don't need. This is protocol. This is health. You are prescribing a service. And the only way you can really do that is by making sure they understand how it works, why it works. They have a problem. If that pain is bad enough, they will pay out of pocket. They came there for a reason. They don't want to live in pain the rest of their lives. They will pay out of pocket to have immediate pain relief. Is there anything else we need to say about marketing?
I'll tell you what the foundation of the marketing is, that with the Remy laser is patients don't like needles. I don't care what you say. I mean, an interesting survey was done many years ago, and where what's the percentage of the total population the podiatrists, even though we see Achilles tendonitis, plantar fasciitis, all kinds of tendinopathies. What do you think the percentage is of the total population? Is it 50%? Is it 40%? Is it 30%? Is it less than 10%? I'm going to give you the answer, and I'm going to tell you why I think why. It's less than 10%. 9% of all the plantar fasciitis cases go to podiatry, even though we're busy with it. That just shows you, why are we not getting more? My feeling is, and you only need to increase it by 1%, and you'll be 3 times busier. You need to have treatments that are patient friendly. Loading up a steroid injection and stick it in somebody's foot, I don't care how good you are, patients don't want it. I'm not saying to stop your steroid injections, but if you said to a patient, Mrs. Jones, we could give you medication, a non-steroidal, we can give you an injection, or we can use the Remy laser, which avoids that. Which do you think they would take if the price is reasonable for them?
Right.
I mean, it's like a copay, an average copay. The average treatment for is anywhere. I have doctors charging over $100 as they get better and better, but the average treatment is probably about $60 a treatment. Who wouldn't want to, get something to avoid a needle? I know I would. So it's not to replace the patient's treatments. It's to expand options, to bring in other patients, and patients it's adding treatments, available treatments to your existing patient base, which is very, very important. And one thing about the training with the Remy, as I'll say, is I teach where the pain will go away immediately with pain. Patient comes in with plantar fasciitis, I will teach you the first visit to get rid of the pain. Can you imagine if a patient goes, oh my God, the pain's gone, they're pressing on where it hurts on the bottom of the foot, and the pain's gone. Can you imagine that? I call it the wow experience, but can you imagine that, a patient feeling that way, where they didn't have to get a needle, I'm not saying you shouldn't do stretching and taping and orthotics, but to get rid of that pain right away without sticking a needle in their foot or writing a prescription, especially post-COVID, people don't want to get needles or the jab anyway. People are sick of this, to tell you the truth. Patients will pay for this. And another beautiful thing that I'll add to it is that it's an average of about 6 treatments for the pain. But can you imagine if you say to a patient, Mrs. Jones, we got rid of your pain today. Isn't that great? But there's 2 parts of this. One is it's like a broken bone. It takes an average of 6 treatments. They're very quick treatments over the next couple of weeks to get this to heal. So the patients experience, that's why I like pain. They experience the relief immediately. So it's like an expensive perfume. You get to smell it first and then you pick it out. They're getting relief right away. When I was in practice, I would do 10 or 15 of these a day at $60, $65. I'd be in the other room. They'd be doing them. And I didn't practice in Beverly Hills. I practiced in a blue collar area. That's all I have to say about that.
Well, and the last thing I wanted to say about marketing, again, going back to those testimonial videos on RemyLaser.com, and I was actually really excited because when you listen to the testimonials, it is very much about the multifunctionality of the laser, and that's fantastic. But because I'm like looking about where I contribute, like Dr. Poplawski specifically mentions that the marketing materials that he provided in the office work. Dr. Barkoff has a video of a patient saying, he gave me the brochure. I took it home. I looked it over and said, okay. Dr. Zeno, he has in his video, his posters, in-office posters.
That's an incredible one.
What's that?
That's an incredible one. He's the one I was thinking about when I gave the example of they're asking him.
Well, yeah, exactly. He put the poster in his office and he doesn't even, it's there's a lot of things going on when you're seeing a patient. So he didn't even bring it up. Patients are asking, what is that? And they see it. And so it's a free marketing toolkit. And the printing is it's not a big deal, especially with how, what is going to come back to you. So, these marketing tools, it's turnkey. We knock it out and you have it sometimes, the same week that your laser is delivered. So I just think David has gone above and beyond. It's just astonishing to me because I'm in the industry. I go to trade shows. I see competitors. I know what things are priced at. I know what people are putting into their sales kits, and nobody gives away as much marketing as David does. Nobody does as much consultation as David does. The cart, just giving away $1,000 cart, it's already priced under $16K. Like, how can this be any? I don't know. How are you doing it, David?
I'll tell you. I'm very grateful with the Remy, and that I have doctors that have bought 7, 8 lasers. You mentioned a few there. They're coming back. Just today, I had 2 doctors come. I want my 4th one. I'm like, and it comes back to the philosophy. You treat your patients well, and you put them first. My patients are the profession. I want you to do well. That's my goal. I want you happy. I'm going to be 68 years old. You don't want any hassles. I want people to be hassle free. And
tell the story about Dr. Peterson and when his handpiece broke.
Pardon me?
The Dr. Peterson when his handpiece broke.
What about him?
He just bought it.
Oh, you know what I did?
I know what you did. I want you to tell everyone else.
Okay. The laser, I always take a look at it to the right diagnosis. I turn on my camera in his office. I take a look at it, and I put another laser in there. Okay, overnight, took it down there. I know what it is that he cracked the handpiece. That's the most important thing when these handpieces, you don't leave them on the table, but it doesn't matter. And I think you should. I'm on the philosophy just with patients. My patients are always right. It's not worth arguing. There's no blame. You want to get it fixed, okay? And you want to stand behind your product. And that's why the warranty on the Remy is 5 years. That laser, overnighted down, repaired, and back.
Yeah. I love his testimonial because he was saying he was just like, he just got the laser. Somebody knocked over the handpiece. It cracked. And he was devastated because he just got it. And I think he said within less than 48, 72 hours, he already had a new one replaced done.
Yeah. And I think that's why I've worked for major companies. Service is very important to me, and everything, the buck stops with me. And that's important to me as well. We also have, which is limited, is what it's our 0% financing. If you want to finance this, I have, I guess, connections you would call it, where they can provide 0% financing, but you do have to qualify for it. Most people do qualify for it. But when people pay for the Remy, most people just pay a check or a credit card. But there are some people that do want to finance it. If you're buying 3 or 4 of these lasers, you may want to find, but it's an option. Just like with your patients, you should have options for them, options for them to move forward with what they need. So I've kind of reflected this as I had a pretty successful practice because I happen to love people, and I loved treating people. My father used to say to me, he practiced for 65 years. And this is what really is important to me. It can be boring. Laser, after a while, how many treatments can you do? How many upgrades can you do? But it's the people that you meet and the different experiences. I've had such great experiences. I really am starting to meet my profession. I mean, the Remy is probably in every state in the United States. It's actually in the UK now. So you get that. It's going to be in Australia very shortly. But the point I'm trying to make is, my father said to me, it's not the treatments, it's the people that you meet all these years. And I've met some great podiatrists and got great perspectives. It's a two-way street. That's why I enjoy the training and the consulting and working together as a team. I tell them when the laser arrives, how much time do we need to train, doc? I said, it's not going to be one training. We'll do one aspect. We work around you. How long does it, I've trained people. I have one doctor goes through so many assistants. I've certified all of his assistants, about 15 of them. It's been tough through COVID. You got to focus. Even today, I think it's tougher now. Right now, you got to focus on other things. I never go outside of my authority and tell your staff or anything like that. But I take care of them. And you have a staff. I train your whole staff and certify them and give CME credits. That's important, and that's why you need to have a podiatrist who knows the profession and the occupation. I think that's the most valuable thing with the Remy. And service is very important. So that being said, I think this is the end. Does anybody have any questions? Somebody asked me, regard to the card, I bought the Remy laser last year. Is it still free? No. But call me, Bill, and I'll do something else for you too. The laser, anybody that has a Remy laser tonight already will get a free roller ball. And they got to be members of Taylor Medical, though.
Well, David, I've got a couple of questions that came in on my cell phone. Can the Remy be used for diabetic neuropathy?
It is absolutely can be used for diabetic neuropathy, but you need proper training. It's now interesting. All lasers can be used for diabetic neuropathy, but the diabetic neuropathy, it's something you really have to. You got to get involved in it. I mean, you got to have an internist, maybe a social worker, pain manager. And a short answer is absolutely can be used, but it's not. It can be used. You can't cure neuropathy with lasers. You can stop the progression and from getting worse, and you can also reduce the need for medications.
And didn't we do a webinar with Dr. Stephen Barrett? And
we did.
Yeah. So if someone's more interested in that, we can send them the recording of that webinar.
Right. And the other question that came in at the same time, you mentioned this is a class 4 laser. Is this something that medical assistants could provide treatment, or does it have to be a qualified healthcare provider, whether it's an RN, PA, LPN, or physician?
I'm going to give a general answer, but every state is different. Most states with certification, which I provide, the assistant can do it. Some states you need the physician, podiatric physician needs to be on site. Some states he doesn't have to be on site. I recommend that he should be on site. But generally speaking, in over 99% of the time, an assistant with the podiatrist on site can do the treatment. I'll tell you one state that's tough, the state of New Jersey, where I practice. It's crazy. Everything's physician. But generally speaking, the answer is yes. But we check. I have a list of every state, which I'd be very happy to, if that person would provide the state, I'll give them the regulation.
David, what are the contraindications to the use of the laser?
There's my contraindications, and then generally speaking, if I do have an article that was written in a pain management goes through this, but generally speaking, you don't want to go over the thyroid. Okay. But then there's some studies show that you treat the thyroid and it reduces cold and flu and virus. You don't want to treat over the abdomen for pregnancy. What I don't is important is you can't have absent sensation. There is warm heat. One thing, the laser is not real hot. We've blended wavelengths. It's very comfortable, but you should never hold it in one spot. Always keep it moving. And you should have good quality skin. I call it the Coumadin skin. If somebody has really dried, cracked skin and you take the handpiece, you can tear the skin on it. I'll tell you another interesting thing is people say you shouldn't put it over growth plates. Well, it's excellent. And I have an article. If somebody wants it, I'll send it to them. Just email me. It talks about the fallacies or the, quote, fake contraindications. It'll go around. People think Osgood-Schlatter's or Seaver's disease. It's excellent for them because it reduces inflammation. You'd have to do hundreds of treatments to, unite the growth plates.
Right.
It's excellent for physical therapy, pain, inflammation, swelling, ecchymosis, trauma. It's really good for that. You have a sprained ankle and you'll get the ecchymosis and pain to go away within days.
Hey, Sarah, you were talking about the different approaches to the marketing. How about a social media campaign?
Absolutely. So we have it's strange. We haven't had a ton of requests for social media templates, but
really,
yeah, until just maybe like the last 6 months. So as soon as it basically is kind of one of those things where we keep adding to it. And so now we have several. I'm looking at the website right now. I know I keep referring everyone to go to the website, but it's just because, everything's there. So if you go to the practice marketing, scroll down, it says the in-office videos. So the videos, first of all, are great because you can put those on your social media outlets.
Would you share that website right now, Sarah, so that everybody can click there quickly after the call?
Yeah. What do you mean share the website?
Like what's the web address?
Oh, sorry. Yes. It's remylaser.com. And then the menu is pretty clear. I'm at the big bold. It says practice marketing.
But you can also get there from the taylormedical.com website, I'm sure. But just
I hope so. Yeah.
I wanted to make sure people knew how they could go there right after here and buy the laser.
Exactly. Yep. And you'll see the entire marketing toolkit is there. You could download the templates right then and there. They're difficult to edit because that's kind of, my jam, but the videos are there. The patient brochure is there, the posters. We just did a new countertop display because that was a fun request. But if you keep going down, you'll see Facebook posts. And it's actually pretty cool because Facebook advertising can get really tricky. The way that an effective plan, a lot of people like to do ads that have a lot of copy on the ad itself. And when you're doing a Facebook campaign, you have to keep your images relatively copy free. So when I say copy, I sometimes
wordy.
Yeah, sometimes people know what that means. Sometimes people don't know what that means because you don't want a lot of text. So keep it just an image. And then I've given you verbiage that you could put in, when you're typing on Facebook, that kind of that organic text. So I've given you templates for the organic text and then the image. And so there's a campaign there for pain. There's a campaign there for fungus, and I'm doing the campaign for warts right now.
Excellent. Thank you. I know with the young crowd that's coming out, and all of our young doctors are making all their money, David, off of Instagram. So that's why I'm thinking about, that's a place to be visible to these young providers who are building practices and need the latest and greatest technology in their offices.
And it's crazy too, because I mean, I consider myself an exennial. I'm like on the cusp of Generation X and then being a millennial. But even, younger than me, though, Facebook is actually becoming less and less with them. Like Instagram and TikTok and Snapchat is where they're going too. So I mean, it's always changing. And now I always felt, I was like, oh, I'm young and hip, I'm going to be up to. And now I'm like, oh no, now like now I've got, sometimes there's always a learning curve. So as these generations get younger, these digital marketing and social platforms are always changing.
I try to say I'm an exennial too, but all this gray hair says differently. So
it looks very blonde in that light. So don't worry.
Oh, thank you. I'm going to keep those bulbs.
Perfect.
I'm a baby boomer.
Oh yeah, me too.
We know, David.
David, I have a question to ask you.
David graduated from OCPM when he was 14, though. He was one of those. Sheldon Cooper, so he started early.
Matilda.
David,
Euclid.
David, how quickly are doctors recouping their investment after they purchase the laser?
Anywhere between three months and a year, somewhere in there.
There is a specific testimonial too on the website that says he had it for like a week and it was paid for.
I knew that was Peter Bregman.
That's right. Yes.
Pete.
Yeah.
So one thing you mentioned, David, the FDA versus the 510 clearance. What makes the difference? The FDA can say, hey, this is an approved device. That's great. Yeah. The 510, does that require RCTs or things like that?
Okay. What it is exactly. When I started 3 years ago with the Remy, you needed to file a 510K, which means you have to produce equivalency of another device out there. And you have to do, besides safety, you'll always have to produce safety. You actually don't have to produce safety reports to be FDA cleared, registered. Okay, but with the 510K, I had to go out and get safety reports to meet the FDA requirements. But I had to, with all the lasers, I took the best of the lasers I knew and I put it in there. For example, the fungus toenail was based on the Hyperblue laser, which is very popular, but I added things to it. We added wavelengths to it, different hand pieces. It was one of the first lasers that really attracted me to portability. It was one of the first lightweight ones, but we added things differently to it. So in order to go out and say that you're 510 equivalent, you have to match the exact protocols and studies that were out there already.
It's interesting, David, you talked about the CO2 laser. I did that when I first started. I was in New Jersey. Yep. And in 1986, I bought a $35,000 CO2 laser simply so I could put the sign out that said I had the laser.
Xanar. You went to OCPM. Do you remember Marvin Arnold?
Oh, my goodness, yes. The king of MIS back before it was acceptable.
You know what I also found out about Marvin? Marvin was the backup quarterback for Ohio State in 1956.
Oh, geez.
So he was a great athlete. Great athlete.
By the way, his real last name was Zimmerman?
I don't know what it was. He changed.
It was Zimmerman. He changed it to Arnold so he'd be first in the phone book. I like that.
God. He was a character. He was intimidating. So he'd walk around with these Morse cigarettes. And he was mean to students. I know him. I told him to his face. You got to treat these. He tried to intimidate students. I laughed at him because I knew him. But he was, he was one of Supan's first residents too. He was amazing in the operating room. I know. I saw him in his 80s. He's in his 80s now. He's slowed down a little bit.
You're never going to get David talking about the laser again now. As soon as you start talking about this kind of
stuff. That's right. Well, David, we'll carry our OCPM life offline one of these days and talk about all that.
About Marvin Arnold said to me, "You don't even have to turn the laser on; it'll bring patients in." And I looked at him, and I realized he was right. I mean, he was the idea to get the sign. That was our practice management course at OCPM. He was the only one there.
So, David, I've got one last question for you. I appreciate the fact that you've kind of watched how Taylor has grown over a period of time. I've really watched how you've evolved your company, changing the name and the branding and getting a quality product at a better price. I think in certain ways you're kind of a poster child of the type of vendors that we kind of look for to try and provide certain things. But I guess over the last 3 years, what do you think is the most common reason why DPMs are finally choosing the Remy over all of your other competitors?
One is the fact that it's not that it's portable. I don't think portability is that important. That it's multiple function and multiple streams of income. So you can do pain, you can do inflammation, and you can do warts with or without anesthetic. But not to tap myself on the shoulder, is that they know I stand behind my product and that my service is impeccable and that I care. I mean, you can pick up the cell phone, and I always say to them, if I don't answer the phone, just text me and I'll tell you where I am. I mean, if you need me. I mean,
we had run an ad in PM News and PMJ, and I think it just it checks every box. Like the Remy checks every single box of, when you're looking for a laser. I can't think of one that it doesn't work out. Like any objection somebody has, David has an answer for and is able to overcome it. There are no objections.
Yep. Sounds good to me.
Wow.
If I was a decision maker at a company, David, I would buy your laser. But right now, all I get to do is do webinars on Tuesdays, which I love doing with my friends, and I love educating people. So, Mike, do you have any other questions?
I would add one last point to that, Sarah and David. It's affordable compared to your competitors.
Exactly.
And value.
That's the check.
Yes.
So that's a huge checkbox.
Nope. This was great. Everybody. David, we'll talk offline about OCPM. We probably can share stories for hours.
Sure. Look,
David,
again, I want to thank you so much for inviting me. It's always been a pleasure, and you're a great group to work with.
Well, David, thank you for working with us. It's you're easy to work with, and if you don't have the answers, we know we can always get them from Sarah, so it's never a problem.
That's absolutely true.
Obviously, Mike, this has been fun as always, and you never stop learning, David. I can tell you that every time I do these webinars with Mike, believe it or not, even though it's technology that I've used before, it's always getting better. It's advancing, and it just actually it helps me because I encounter so many young practitioners, and they ask me different ideas and different things. So this is a good thing to keep me current with everything that's going on. But I really want to thank you for joining us and spending time with our members. This is definitely something that we've enjoyed doing over the period of time, and I think it's worked out really, really well. I'd like to thank everybody for joining us. Please get in your cost analyses to Carla, Ashley, Siobhan, and Jim. And I look forward to seeing you all at the beginning of February. We're going to talk about a newly approved program alternative to opioids for managing pain with CBD. And again, interestingly enough, I think all that ties in. The laser also helps with the pain management, non-invasive. So I think there are a lot of different ways that we can treat our patients, and we owe it to our patients to learn and hear about all these new technologies that we can use. So with that, I am going to bid everybody a wonderful evening and tell you thanks for joining us, and we'll see you all in a couple of weeks.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye-bye.